back again. Final time for the summer. And I am joined stateside by Justin. Justin, how are you doing, mate? Great season, well, mate, isn't it? Great season.
Yeah, doing well, obviously. A magical season, to be honest. It's really the only shame was not having fans there to witness most of it. That was really the only downside. Very few games where you'd say West Ham played really terribly, and only a couple games where they lost to teams they shouldn't have. And that's usually the story, right? We lose to teams that we should beat and maybe nick a result against one of the big boys that we have no business beating. But overall, what a season, Europa League. Just great accomplishment.
I agree, mate. I really do. It's the best season I've seen West Ham play for a hell of a long time. But let's get into these player ratings, mate, because I know time's against us. Lucas Fabianski, mate, give us a rating out of 10. No half marks, full numbers. Away you go.
Yeah, and just for reference, 6 for me is average. So I know everyone has their own scale. So I'm going to give him 6. I thought, obviously, he had a really, really bad game against Newcastle. And he made a couple mistakes throughout the year, but he overall was solid. He's an above average goalkeeper. And yeah, I thought he had a really good year. I think he certainly hit his peak with West Ham. But overall, very solid keeper at international Premier League experience. So I'm going to give him a 6.
6 out of 10 for Fab. Darren Randolph, mate. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him a 6 too, although I thought he played really well when he came in. I don't remember any massive errors, made some good reaction saves. Really solid backup goalkeeper. As we all know, a backup keeper can really hurt you if they're not up for it. So to have Randolph back, 6 out of 10 for me. Just good, solid backup keeper.
This man, phenomenal. What's your rating, mate?
Yeah, you can make the argument that he's Hammer of the Year. You really could. He's not my pick, but I certainly would not argue against it. For me, it's a 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, he was absolutely superb.
What would it be, Justin? What would it be, Justin, for him to be a 10 out of 10 for you?
I mean, I think probably a bit more of a goal scoring threat moving forward. I think with the modern fullback, they assist a lot and they also can score some goals a lot. Some even have great free kick taking abilities and pose that threat. I'm not saying Koufal needs to add that to his game. I think his game is perfect the way it is. It embodies West Ham. And he actually did get quite a number of assists. I don't know off the top of my head, but I would say that would probably give him a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
So 9 out of 10 for me would be the rating.
Ryan Fredericks, mate. He got replaced by Koufal.
Yeah.
What's your rating, mate?
6. I've never really hated on Fredericks. I think he provides pace. He does lack a bit of confidence on the ball, but when he came in, the handful of times he did this year, I thought he did all right. He played a little bit on the left as well. He's a solid backup defender. I hope. I don't know what his contract situation is like. I think we have one more year with him. I hope we keep him. He provides some depth and that pace that I mentioned. So 6, good, solid backup season.
Oh, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I really like this kid. I've liked him for years. I'm going to give him a 6. He did make some mistakes out there. It really showed his age a bit, but then there were also times that he really held his own against some world-class opposition. He had a really good game against I mean, I'm not going to misquote. I know he had a couple good games that were but I thought most of the time he played really well. He still has some learning to do. He still needs to be a bit more composed on the ball. But he does provide solid defense and something going forward as well. I'm going to give him a 6.
He has played the position though. He has been out of position most of the season though, hasn't he? Let's be like playing left wing back, left back. He's right-footed, so I agree with you there. I really do. I know. I really do hope he comes good. I really do mean that. Cresswell.
Phenomenal season for Aaron. I think he led the team in assists. He stayed relatively healthy compared to years prior. Really a bit of a renaissance in his career. Hopefully he can get even a little even close to what he did this year. Sort of reminded you of the Cresswell during his first year with the club when he came over from Ipswich, I believe it was. So for me, I'm going to give him a 7. Above average season, really good. Did dip in form a little bit, in my opinion, towards the end of the season, and we all know he struggles with pace a bit, but I mean, he exceeded expectations, I think, from a lot of us. So 7.
Masuaku.
It's hard to rate him. I'm going to give him a 6 just because he barely played. It's a shame, too, because when he did, I thought he played well, but I thought the sample size was just a bit too small to give him anything more. Hopefully he's ready to go because I think he can provide something going forward on that left-hand side. And like I said, he played well when he did play. So, I'll just give him a 6 just because he didn't really play that much, to be honest.
Yeah. Craig Dawson.
Yeah, I mean, talking about exceeding expectations, many people, including myself, sort of question the signing and didn't really understand it. But really started off his West Ham career with a bang. I don't want to say he dipped in form. He stopped scoring goals again. He did have that awful game against Newcastle, obviously. But besides that, don't remember a whole lot of mistakes. I still think, he's not the center back of the future, obviously, and signing another center back I think would probably be one of the top priorities this summer. But I'm going to give him a 7 just because he was a solid center back for us, and he exceeded expectations wildly, actually. I
agree. Ogbonna.
This man. It's just, I used to not like Ogbonna that much a few years ago, but over the last 2 seasons, he has been our best defender, bar none. He a Hammer of the Year candidate if he didn't get injured. And some may even still pick him. He's the rock. You could tell we weren't our normal selves without him. Goals were given up more without him than with him. I love the guy. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 just because of how important he is to the defense, to the back line. He's getting up there in age. Again, another reason why I think we need to sign another center back soon. But, hopefully he can give us 1 or 2 more years like he has over the last couple. It's great to watch him play.
I agree, mate. I really do. Issa Diop, he gets criticised quite a lot. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, he gets criticized, and I think rightly so at times. Although I thought he had a good season this year. I don't really, again, remember too many mistakes with him. Starting to think that he may not be Premier League starting quality. May just be a really solid – I think he's a solid backup center back option. One of the best out there in the league as a backup. The price tag that came with him probably, again, causing a bit more criticism. I'm going to give him a 6. I thought he did fine. Good average season when he played. Give him a 6.
6 out of 10 for Diop. Balbuena. Give me a rating, Justin, of his overall time at West Ham.
Overall time?
Yeah.
Yeah. a bit inconsistent at times. It always seemed like poor performance or an injury ruined good form for him, because there were times where he really showed some great form for us. I'm gonna say it was a 7 out of 10 overall. He did show some really brilliant play. Captained the back line at times. I don't think he was the actual captain, but you know what I mean. Made a few mistakes throughout his years. I can't remember one big one really. Maybe the Sheffield United match a couple seasons ago. But yeah, I wish him well. I wish him well, and he served West Ham. He served West Ham very well, and I wish him the best of luck.
Best of luck for Bowman. I totally agree with you there, Matt. I really do. Declan Rice, captain, leader, world-class DM, best in the country, best in the league.
Yeah.
What's your rating, mate?
It's really hard. I'm going to go 9, just because of, again, I think it goes to the importance that he presents in the squad. You could tell our form dipped a bit without him, and not seeing him play for a month and a half, and then seeing him play. He just does these little things. He uses his body so well. He's so strong. The kid has really put on some muscle, bodying players off the ball. He drives forward, but he's also solid enough defensively where Souček trusts him to go forward himself. Souček has been in the box, mixing it up, scored a couple goals over the last few weeks with Rice back in the side. So the importance that Rice provides to the side is, I mean, if we lost him, what a shame that would be, especially before Europa. So it's a 9 for me. He's not my hammer of the year, but it's a 9 for me just because of how important he is to the club.
I think I know your hammer of the year is. Is it this man?
It is. It is. Leads the team in goals. The box-to-box midfielder we've been lacking for years. Seems like one of the nicest guys in the world. Some of his stats in terms of running stats and aerial duels won are just mind-boggling, really. Yeah. Leading the Premier League in a lot of those categories. He played every single minute except for the 1 minute where Mike Dean sent him off. It just goes to show you, I mean, talk about importance to the club. I'm going to give him a 9 because I think we did see how important Rice being in the side is to Souček being able to go forward and mix it up in the box. But you'll see my 3 9s, Soufal, Souček, and Rice. For me, all of them could be hammer of the year, so that's why they're up top. Not 9 for me.
9 for you for Thomas Souček. Robert Snodgrass left in January. He signed. Yeah. He left. He come back, and now he's left on a permanent. Give me a rating, Justin, of his overall time at West Ham, please, mate.
Yes, 7 for me. A really solid professional. Gave everything for the badge, even during those tough relegation battles. Provided some veteran leadership in the dressing room. Fans loved him. He loved the fans. And just gave his all. And he scored some really good goals too. I mean, he that left foot is dangerous. He's a good, solid player. And he's still at West Brom, yeah? Yeah. So I'm assuming he's staying there. He'll help them out in the chat. He's probably a championship player, given his age and his experience, but a really good player. And overall, I love the guy. I hope to meet him one day in person. I'll give him a 7 out of 10 because I really think he put in some really good performances, some man of the match performances over the years.
Yeah, I agree. He's a top-class lad.
Yeah.
Mark Noble.
Yeah, I really hope I can get over to a game next year, man, because I want to see him play one last time for West Ham. I'm going to do everything in my power to do so. Mr. West Ham, I unfortunately didn't have the privilege to watch the likes of, Moore, Brooking, Bonds, even more recent
Canio.
guys like DiCanio, Dix.
Yeah.
And so for me, Mark Noble is my Mr. West Ham, right? My generation. Yeah. I thought he played all right. I really don't think he really put a foot wrong. I'm going to give him a 7. Maybe it's a little bit of a boost because of who he is, but I'm going to give him a 7. Thought he played well. Thought he filled in for Rice pretty well. Yeah, I don't have nothing to knock his performance this year. I thought it was a 7.
I agree with you, mate. I really do. I think he done all right when he come in. Manuel Lanzini. I just got to ask you this because I've been asking everyone. Where was you when that goal went in that he scored against Tottenham?
Yeah, man. I was just in my living room with my two friends who are also West Ham fans. They were my roommates at the time, so we were all working from home, and we were just watching the game, and we were just in our living room watching the game, man, and it was incredible. It just jumped up and down, hugged each other, couldn't really believe it. Man, that's where I was. I'll never forget it. Never forget it.
What's your rating of him this season, Justin?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 6 just because didn't really play that much, did he? And he got hurt again. It's just a real shame, real shame. As someone who's torn their ACL before, I know how difficult it is to rehab from it. It's both physically and mentally exhausting. And it's such a shame because we all remember the player he was before that. I mean, he was in the Argentina squad. That's where he tore his ACL. That's how good he was. He was going to make the Argentina World Cup roster. And that happened. And so seems like a great guy. I think his time at the club is probably close to being to an end. I hope wherever he goes, he finds that form. He'll probably go back to Argentina, I'm assuming. I'm going to give him a 6. I don't think he played awful, and it was really a shame when he got injured because he was sort of playing in that more defensive midfield role where he didn't have to do too much movement, and he did really well. I thought he did really, really well. And I was thinking, maybe we keep him. Maybe we keep him as a backup DM. But, with another injury, I think it's just too much to keep him. But 6 out of 10 for me. Thought he did all right when he came in. And, of course, that legendary goal. I mean, I may bump him up to a 7. I'll bump him up to a 7 just for that goal.
A 7 for Lanzini.
Yeah.
Pablo Fornals.
Yeah, I know he still divides the fan base a bit, but less and less so over the years and the months. 7 out of 10 for me. I thought he's improved. I still think he can improve more. He's got to improve his finishing a bit more in the final third. But really everything else that he does is very, very good. His effort and work rate are there. You can see the emotion that he plays with. I love seeing that in a player. I think West Ham fans as a whole love seeing that in a player. And he scored, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 goals, something like that, pitched in a few more assists. I think, again, there are some aspects of his game that he can improve, but I think he has improved during his time at West Ham. He is worth the price tag that we paid. And I love the guy. 7 out of 10 for me.
7 out of 10. Jared Bowen.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 as well. Similar to Fornals, different game, different style of play, but similar in terms of there are things that he can improve. But he has that work rate and that effort. Seems like he has that desire to improve it off the pitch. I have a Hull City fan as a friend. From day one when we signed him, he said, "You're going to love this guy. He's going to work hard. He's going to get better." I think he's only 24, maybe 25, 24. So he's still so young. He's got improving to do, but he's a good player. I think he got 9 goals this year. So good for him, and hopefully he'll make it good for the club as we continue to put more faith in him. 7 out of 10 for me.
Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, I know his form dipped a little bit, but he was never going to keep up that pace, right? I think he had 9 goals and 3 assists in his first 12 games. Very rare. I mean, I don't think you have players to combine for 38 goals and assists. I mean, that's the pace he was at over an entire season. So when people say his form dipped, yeah, in a way, I think it did. And it certainly put in my mind that I don't want to spend more than £20 million for him, in my opinion.
Mm.
But we would not be in the top 6 without him. I think that's plain and simple. Everyone would agree. So for me, it's an 8 out of 10. I hope we see him play for us in the future. I don't think we will. But if that was it, and he just gave us those 6 months, he'll be a West Ham favorite for all time. And 8 out of 10 for me. Just so high quality, with the ball.
Yeah, I agree. Saeed Benrahma.
Yeah, another guy that divides the fan base. Listen, I thought he improved across the season. Finally got his goal. Had a handful of assists. This is tough. I'm going to go 6. And I know you're probably going to disagree with me. I know you're a big Benrahma guy. And I have nothing against the guy. And I think he can improve. And I think he did improve over the season. But what are your thoughts? I'm interesting. I know you're all over him on Twitter.
I think that for a first season, for a man who's come from Brentford, he's a championship player. I think West Ham fans were expecting a Dimitri Payet 2.0. And what it is, he's not of Dimitri Payet, not yet, but he will get there. He just needs a bit of time. I don't think Moyes has helped him, though, Justin. If I'm honest, Moyes hasn't really given him the confidence. And I think if Moyes would have given him a bit more confidence, you might have seen a better Benrahma. Me personally, I rated him a 7. I thought 7 was pretty. I think for what he'd done, he got 6 assists on 1 goal. He played about 16 times. That ain't really too bad from a starting position. He should have some more assists if Antonio knew where the goal was in certain games. But other than that, that's just me. But this is your ratings, mate.
Yeah, no, I just because I know you're a big Benrahma guy, so I wanted to get your opinion. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my 6. I'm going to stick to my guns. I see your argument for 7. I'm not too. I sort of agree with you there. It's all about now what he does in the off season. He needs to compete. He needs to get better. That's the type of player that Moyes wants. And we'll see how he responds. I think he does have a good head on his shoulders. I think he will respond, train hard, get better. And, because I do agree with you. He has the talent to become a full-time starter without a doubt. If he keeps working on it. Because what is he? He's 24, 23, 24? I mean, 24. So young. We have such a great future with some of these players. So I'm sticking with the 6, but I could see 7.
Yeah. Sebastian Haller, give me a rating of his overall time at the club, Justin.
6. I think there's 2 things I want to say about Haller. First, people did give him too much slack online, in my opinion, especially when compared to some of the other strikers that we've signed. I mean, my God. Haller is miles ahead of them. I think the price tag had something to do with it. Him being our record signing had something to do with it. And we're expecting this 20 goal a year player.
I agree.
But then the second thing I want to say is that there were times where his work rate and effort were simply not enough. Very simple, not enough. And that is unacceptable. I think Moyes saw that straight away. Yeah. He's not a dynamic striker. He cannot play up top alone. We've said that hundreds of times. So while the effort wasn't there 100%, and that's inexcusable, I do think that the system we played did not lend itself to Haller's strengths. It wasn't meant to be. I wish him the best. I have nothing against the guy, but I'm going to give him a 6 overall in his time at West Ham.
Yarmolenko.
I don't rate him.
Yeah.
I don't rate him. I do not see what he provides on the pitch. I mean, 4. 4 out of 10. I got injured again, and I don't want to blame someone for getting injured, but he doesn't offer anything. So that's all I really can say about him. He doesn't offer anything. 4.
A man who does offer something, though, Mikel Antonio.
Yeah, he's something else, isn't he? Such a likable fella too. I hope to meet him one day in person. Seems like a great guy. Works hard, dynamic. What a dynamic striker! Unlike any other striker in the Premier League. Strength, speed, stamina when his hamstrings aren't off the bone. But 8 for me. Another double-digit scoring season. I think he got 10 goals this year. Yeah. He did. He was tied with Souček then, or maybe Souček had 11. I don't know. But another double-digit goal performance for him. He was limping there. Did you see that? He was limping at the end of the or when he got subbed off. So. I mean, who knows? We need a striker. I love the guy, but he's not reliable in terms of his health. But 8 out of 10 for me. What a guy! What a striker! So important to how we play, and I hope that he's back, ready to go in August.
These are my questions now. First one. The best performance of the season. Now, Justin, this can be a player's performance or a team performance.
Okay. I'm going to look through some fixtures here. In terms of, I'm not even going to try to do a player performance because there are a lot.
Let me tell you, Justin, a couple of fixtures that have been sort of mentioned on these player ratings. You got the Wolves home game where we won 4-0.
Yeah.
Leicester away 3-0. You got the Tottenham 3-0. You got the Leeds away 2-1 win. You got Aston Villa away, Jesse Lingard's debut. You got the Palace away, and that's about it, really.
I was gonna say either the Wolves performance. I actually think the Leicester performance after that, where we won 3-0 at King Power, was even more impressive. That Leeds game was too. You know what? Also, a game that I really thought we played very well was that 1-0 win against Everton at Goodison. I thought we played really, really well, and we deserved the win. I know it was only 1-0. But to answer your question, that is tough. I am going to go with the Leicester City 3-0 win at the King Power. Because Wolves aren't the team that they were of years past, and Leicester are a good side. I know they struggled at home a bit, but to go and beat them 3-0, a team they out of any team in the league, I read this today, out of any team in the Premier League, Leicester City spent the most days in the top 4, more than Manchester City, more than Manchester United. So they're a good side. So to beat them 3-0 at their place is always impressive. So I'm going to go with the 3-0 Leicester victory.
GSB summer winter transfer windows. Right. We signed Kufal, we signed Souček on a permanent, we signed Dawson on loan, Ben Rama on loan in the summer transfer window. In the winter one, we let go Haller, let go Snodgrass. We made Ben Rama's loan permanent, and we signed Jesse Lingard. Give me a rating, Justin, for both windows, please, mate.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say that I think nearly all, maybe if all those signings had to do with David Moyes and not GSP. I know what you mean here, but I just want to publicly state that. So this rating is not for the owners themselves. In terms of the actual business that we did, I mean, you listed all those players. How many of them were flops?
Not really any, no.
None were flops. All of them were, average, above average to amazing. I mean, so, and excellent. I'm going to give, are we still doing number ratings for? Yeah. So that summer rating, or that summer transfer window, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. At the time, we all hated that summer, the business that we did, but in hindsight, an 8 out of 10. And in the winter, I'm going to have to get an 8 out of 10 too. I disagreed with selling Hilaire and not signing a striker, but we signed Lingard, who, provided 9 goals himself in a half season. So I don't think you can be too. What one would say that maybe that's even a 9 out of 10 winter transfer window.
Yeah. And finally, to wrap it up, Moyes and his backroom staff.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It wasn't always perfect, and I know that's what 10 out of 10 sort of says, but you just have to look at where we were this time last year, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, last season.
Right. So many of us thinking we were going to go down. So much toxicity at the club again. Hopelessness amongst some of us. And while I didn't think we were going to get relegated, I certainly did not think we'd be anywhere near even the top half of the table. So to not only achieve that, but to achieve top 6 Europa League for the first time in the group stage, a lot of credit has to go to Moyes and his backroom staff. If it was just Moyes, I would not give him a 10 out of 10. But when you just combine the whole coaching staff together, I think it takes it takes an entire team to help these players put themselves in, or help put players in positions to succeed. And so that's what this backroom staff did, and that's what David Moyes did. I thought he had an excellent season too. So 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10.
And that is it, Justin. That is your 2020-2021 player ratings for this season. I want to thank you for coming on, mate. I've spoke to you the last few months stateside, and you've been a pleasure to have on, mate. And a top man. You are a top man. Before we wrap it up, Justin, what's your final thought with West Ham this season?
Sorry if you hear that in the background. There's some construction going on. My final thought. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to watch the club. It was a pleasure to associate with fans of the club via the internet, like yourself. But now is the time to stress sustainable growth. I don't want people to think that we have to be in the top 6 next year. I want to be in and around it, but it's got to be sustainable. I don't want to go and buy a 45-pound striker. I want to spend wisely. I want David Moyes to lead those scouting efforts and do what he did at Everton. I think that's a great blueprint. I think we're a similar club to Everton in terms of stature. And so sustainable growth moving forward. But also, let's try to enjoy the ride. Whatever happens, we're going to be watching Europa League football.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy it. Let's be happy. Let's get behind the team no matter what happens. And and let's just enjoy this club. And you never know, because dude, we could be here next year and we could be 16th again. You just never know. So let's enjoy it. Let's try to band together and get behind the club and enjoy some European nights.
I totally agree with you, mate. And fitting way to end it with that speech, I must admit. Justin, I want to thank you for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. You've been an absolute top class bloke. I've enjoyed the stuff me and you've done together, and if I am back next year, I'd like to get you on a bit more when you're free, mate. I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah, and, I've enjoyed speaking with you too, James. Really enjoyed you hosting. I think you do a great job, and hopefully you can continue doing it here and there at least next season as well.
Yeah, I hope so too, mate. I really do. I want to thank everyone who's been watching this. That's Justin's player ratings for this season. I am done now. Finished for the summer. But I just want to say, like, share, subscribe to Hammers Polls. It's a good channel, and if whatever happens in the future happens in the future, and basically, if I am back next year, I will do my best to get out topics that we can all discuss as fans. And yeah, do you know what I mean? I want to thank Justin. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care and all the best.